Up first, Ignacio Campos and Mathys Duragrin at a catch weight. 29 years of age versus 24. The reach advantage belongs to the Spaniard, as does the height.
Ready? Fight!
Look for the fast start from Campos. When he gets it done, it tends to be in the first 2 rounds. Very explosive moves like that.
Open stances here with Campos in that southpaw position. Duragrin has absorbed already a couple of inside low kicks.
It really changed his posture as well, receiving those low kicks. He's got to be careful that Campos doesn't follow up with something else while his stance is squared up. And the crowd in here already. You can hear him.
To the low leg.
Oh, good knee. Nice elbows as well.
A nasty inside boxing, and then the elbow. Duragrin decides he wants to get this thing to the ground.
Oh, solid Travis Brown elbows to the side of the head.
Like a ball-peen hammer with the point of that elbow coming down just on the ear of Mathys Duragrin.
Duragrin's got to get his head up here a little bit.
Yeah, Campos doesn't throw a lot of jabs, not a lot of feelers. Everything's with power.
Short needs the inside by Duragrin. Looks like he's trying to switch his stance here, but he's going to struggle to get to the legs with the control that his opponent's got of his arms. We've got a wrist control, we've got an overhook.
Looks to get his head out of trouble there. It's not a bad strategy.
Spin into the back, good movement.
Look at Campos scrambling around and now trying for the mounted guillotine if he can get his right leg through.
He's got it.
Tight.
He's got to get onto his side, and he's doing that very well. Good work by Duragrin.
Nice defense from the Frenchman. A furious start here for Ignacio Campos.
Campos, though, showing a good transition to the back there. Good movement, good balance. A lot of times you don't get the guillotine, you end up getting buffed off. That didn't happen. Able to keep pressure on top.
Duragrin getting himself tangled up in a weird situation here. One of his arms has been exposed.
Armbar danger here if he can step over.
Campos would have to go belly down. Duragrin is able to get his head out, stand up, but now Duragrin behind Ignacio Campos. We'll see if he tries to use his position to get back down to the mat.
Campos has done a good job of using the fence for balance and make Duragrin use a lot of energy to keep him here.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy. Oh, that's a
clean takedown.
It's a lot of energy from Duragrin, though, and Campos is right back to his feet.
Yeah, that's a lot of energy to let a guy back up, Dan. Bounce right back to his feet. Yeah.
Nice head position here from Duragrin. Campos taking a breath. Tries a little step through for a toss. Duragrin wise to it, and now back down on a double leg attempt.
This is better for Duragrin, but he's
ladle position.
Yeah, very interesting. Look at that.
He almost had an Americana on
right into side control. Good transition again. Think an arm triangle.
Yeah, he's got that arm triangle on the far side. He's got to get that right leg over, and he does. Man, good defense by Duragrin. He knows what's coming. He's trying to get his head and arm separated, but it's closing up. Campos got to get himself to the other side on that arm triangle, and now Duragrin's got 3 of it. He tries to set it up again, but you can tell that Mathys is wise to it.
Cross body here in side control. Ignacio Campos has looked good in the striking and now on these ground exchanges as well.
He's been a little ahead in the transitions. Duragrin had a good takedown, but when it's come to a scramble, it's been Campos has been a half a second ahead. Now good pressure in side control. Nice short forearm strike.
Still looks like he's considering that arm triangle, though, doesn't he? Keeping his head low on the far side.
He's making Duragrin pay for reaching over just like that.
Might be better for him to try and take mount first and then focus on the head and arm.
Yeah, it's getting a little impatient on top, now in half guard. Duragrin having to burn a lot of gas on bottom in this half guard position.
Yeah, Duragrin needs to try and get his hands back in play. Certainly that left arm, he needs to get an underhook so he can start working onto his side and use his half guard. He inverts here for an ankle. Interesting, could be a calf slicer. Oh, and another good knee from Campos.
And then a right and left, tries another short elbow. Caught mostly forearm there. just a step ahead in round one is Ignacio Campos.
Yeah, back to his feet at the right time. Didn't get into a leg lock battle. Nice!
Oh, nasty! He's got Mathys Duragrin hurt. Will he be saved by the bell?
He's got seconds. He's got 4-3. Man, he's going to make it. He's going to survive the round.
Saved by the bell, gentlemen. That was close.
Duragrin may be campaigning a little bit here, but
Fight!
to no avail as we start round number 2 in Madrid, Spain. Our first bout of the evening, Ignacio Campos in the red representing Spain.
Nice straight left.
Duragrin now behind the strikes onto a double leg. Abandons it to throw his own right hands.
Duragrin now wants nothing to do with that outside game. Went right inside for a takedown. I think that left hand convinced him that it's not going to be his night striking tonight.
Campos tries for the overhook, but gets taken down on the turn. He's rolling through here, but now he's giving his back.
Great work by Mathys Duragrin to stay sticky there.
Campos needs to start using the canvas and scrape his opponents off. He needs to start trying to get his shoulders to the mat.
Man, this crowd already deafening, and we're just in the prelims. Good transition by Campos to get his hips toward his opponent. Now that back mount position.
Wow. Now he has his own arm triangle set up.
Third arm triangle.
A little bit of a turnaround from round one.
You can see Mathys Duragrin trying to get his right leg out from between the guard legs of Ignacio Campos. No longer threatening with that arm triangle.
Also right in front of his corner. Thinking guillotine.
Oh, interesting. All
Gave
in.
up top position, though.
Now he's let go of it. I don't think he's got his hands together properly here. And Campos is bridging. He's trying to get some separation. You see him driving his head up, making space underneath his throat.
Also using his legs. He's not allowing Duragrin to get a close guard to really get his hips activated in the guillotine.
And with Duragrin up against the fence, he's not going to be able to extend on this guillotine anyway. So Campos is relatively safe here, but they are in Duragrin's corner. So he's getting advice from his team firsthand.
Got the hands locked again and appears intent on trying to threaten this neck despite the bad position.
It's going to be tough with Campos controlling his hips the way he is.
He's going back for that guillotine, but I wonder if he's going to try and use it to stand up. That's what his thinking was.
Head is out.
Heads out. Underhooks here for Mathys Duragrin. Campos able to reach past it and gather the legs.
Little surprised Campos didn't pop back to his feet once his head was out. Seems content to enter a ground battle here.
From the front headlock, tries to spin to the back, but he gives Duragrin another takedown. Clever work by Duragrin.
Little bit of a tactical mistake. Tried to spin to the back. The fence was in his way. Wasn't able to complete it. That's what led to the takedown.
And now Duragrin gathering the legs of Ignacio Campos, but he's able to scramble out and back to his feet.
Much better round by Duragrin in round two.
Campos fighting the hands. Duragrin with some knees to the legs. I wonder if Campos' thinking is that if he'd have tried to stand up, he would have been defending takedowns again. Maybe he tried to engage in the grappling to try and get the upper hand, but here he's allowing Duragrin to maintain top position. He's in the same position that he had Duragrin in a moment ago with his leg bound. Now he's on the back. A great scramble by Mathys Duragrin.
And both hooks in again, up against the fence. As you point out, it's hard to extend and really get behind a choke, but still eating up seconds and minutes of this round.
Winning the round.
Fight, fight.
3 takedowns in this second round for Mathys Duragrin, now on the back of Ignacio Campos. And perhaps equally importantly, Jimmy, is he's slowed this fight down because on the feet, Campos was showing a speed and power advantage.
He's taken Campos' striking out of it in round two, has done much better with the ground battle.
I mean, you can hear the excitement from the Spanish crowd, even when Campos is able to get an arm off his neck.
Well, that's going to be a theme tonight.
Campos
Walking up,
trying to change
position. Yep.
get himself up and over.
Able to unlock the legs and is on top again.
10 seconds to make it count. He's got to watch his arm as Duragrin's posturing out.
Duragrin spinning around to threaten that arm, but the elbow is south of the cup area, so no real threat. Up kick there from Duragrin to finish round 2.
Duragrin now knows what he needs to do to win this, which is get it on the floor. Campos knows that as well, yeah.
And now,
Campos going for the takedown.
Look at the beautiful reaction from Duragrin, able to try to use that momentum.
It's interesting because from the first round, it felt like Campos was the one that wanted this as a striking match. But he's been dragged into a grappling match, and I kind of feel like Duragrin, for the work he did in that second round, he's pulled it back in his favor a little bit. Especially because that knee to the body, I don't know whether, I mean, I would score that as a knee to the body, and it hurt his fighter. So you got to think that would be scored as significant. It could be all to play for in this third round.
Yeah, I definitely think it's tied right now, but Duragrin hanging on to that guillotine position. It's hard to stop the takedown and go for the guillotine at the same time. It's kind of one or the other. He's letting Campos control his hips. Campos had a good round on the ground in round number 1, so a little surprised he didn't try for the stand-up game a little bit more. That seems to be the key to his success.
Looks like he's trying to bind the legs at the moment, like he did before. I kind of feel like he'd be better just to kind of open up a little bit, you know, throw some strikes.
Listen to this chanting crowd. We're going to hear a lot of that tonight.
Duragrin just looks a little dejected here, but he's quite happy to keep picking with these elbows, and Campos, of course, is not scoring in this position.
It's on effort to pull his hips off the fence, going for it again.
Dan, you brought up an interesting point there. Campos not scoring anything offensive, but in the eyes of judges, is he scoring because he's in the top position and not absorbing any real damage himself? If you're Mathys Duragrin, you can't be confident that fighting from the bottom is ever giving you the results you're looking for. You see the scramble here.
Yeah, see, this is where it changes, though, because in those situations where Duragrin was in the bottom position, he's landing strikes and not a great deal's happening. Whereas as soon as he starts to reverse the position, the fight seems to move quicker when Mathys is the one that's pushing the pace. Campos seems to be the one trying to slow it down a little bit. And I don't know whether that's because he's not quite as comfortable on the ground as Duragrin. See, at the moment, Campos can't strike back and Duragrin's landing as well as wrestling. Some damage under the eye of Campos as well, a small cut.
Little cut leaking there on the right side of Ignacio Campos' face.
Yeah, Duragrin in these takedown positions, arm inside, is just a little busier than Campos was in comparable positions. So we'll see how the judges see that. And also, it doesn't help, this crowd is screaming every time Campos does anything. We know how that influences judges.
Looks like Duragrin's going to get another takedown here. Trying to drag that leg away. I think he might try and circle to the back. Beautiful switch there by Campos, but he ends up on the seat of his pants again.
Now a tight plum grab here for Campos. Good elbow.
This is the range that Campos wants, exactly.
That elbow knee range seems to suit Campos better than any other range in this fight.
Good timing there. Duragrin drifted out of range with the left hand, ducked under the next strike, and is able to grab this body lock. The fans don't like it, but it has been more effective for Mathys Duragrin to get out of striking range. I should say inside of striking range.
But also, Campos in these positions doesn't seem to have the wherewithal to shoulder and get out, right? He seems to hold against the fence when he should be pushing off to get range, and that allows Duragrin to reverse position.
He's got that single necktie, but he's choosing to throw knees and elbows.
Nice short elbow.
Backed up against the fence. He could do with getting off the fence.
Good cow catcher, but the slipperiness of both fighters keeps them in. Front kick attempted there for Nacho. I need to see the numbers, by the way, on how many people.
He's got him hurt.
Duragrin in trouble again. Left hand sneaks through. Campos has got to let go and swing.
His eyes are not clear, gentlemen.
Well, that changes the round. Big strikes from Campos. Duragrin holding onto his arm.
Nice knee to the midsection again. A breath here from Campos. And Duragrin with a lift and deposit.
But that combination, that flurry may have won him a very close round.
Well, certainly the most significant thing that happened here in round 3. To the judges' scorecards we go. And Ignacio Campos gets the approval of the Madrid crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we turn to the judges' scorecards, where all 3 judges scored the fight 29-28 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Ignacio Campos.
Ignacio Campos makes it 7-2 for his career.
Click below to subscribe and watch more MMA content.